I don't care. I don't care. Have no sympathy. Don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm sorry.
Oh, hello.
Long time no see.
It's been a minute.
I know. Oh, we got frozen chugs.
Frozen chugs. Frozen chugs-arita.
There we go.
You there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can we hear you?
Very like
Can you hear me?
old school
I can.
Skype laggy.
Oh.
That's what's up.
Hey, if you don't
Hey,
use it, you
Plunge
lose
ASMR.
it, man.
Is the
So
audio
that's
good
how it
tonight?
is.
Is it too good? Is it not good enough?
It's crispy.
Is it crispy tonight? I turned up the I
Spicy.
turned the knob up. I don't know what it does.
Crank it.
Put it
It's
to
velvet.
11.
I turned one of the things up to make the
Turn
green
it
bar
to
go
11.
higher. I
There
don't
you
know
go.
what it does.
The gain.
Cello.
It's velvet. It's velvet. So I've met you guys in real life now.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Look at that.
So
We're just hanging
should we start
like
there?
regular old
Do we want to
people.
start there? I feel like we should start there.
Yeah. Review. Kind of what went down and what it was like and stuff. You can kick it off, Plungy Bear.
No,
No.
I'll go last.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll lead
See
off.
you later, boss swingman. Have a good night.
I mean, it was I guess the most refreshing part about a lot of it, and I'll speak about us four first, but then everybody, like most of the other people that I met in terms of my experience. We have a pretty good idea kind of like who we are, like I after meeting you guys, like we're pretty much the same person, like online versus in real life. So I mean, like obviously, it's refreshing to kind of like finally meet people that you're like, I would have like totally been friends with these people if I went to college with them or whatever. Like this, like that's kind of the vibe that I got with like the four of us. Like it felt kind of just like natural. It didn't feel like, four people meeting for the first time who like have never been in the same room before. You kind of quickly fell into like just like, being buddies basically. And then on a larger level, like meeting a lot of the other folks that you've seen their names and you've seen them, saying whatever online and stuff like that. It was nice to, I guess people are in the chatter. It was cool, like meeting certain people that for the most part, I mean, I'm not going to like just say like this person was cool, this person sucked or whatever, but like pretty much everybody I met, it was kind of like, oh, they're like totally like a decent, normal, kind of person. I'll give one shout out. The person that I didn't really kind of like have in the back of my head that I was like kind of gearing up to meet or like hoping to meet that I met, that I got to meet and like really left a good impression or like just kind of like had a good time talking, getting to know him was Zakarian at the OTM party. Like really funny guy. Like his I think fiance, maybe it was like has ties to New Orleans. So like talked about that for a little bit. Like really cool guy. Other than that, like the other people that I kind of was like expecting to meet, everybody pretty much like delivered, so to say, in terms of being like good people. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Yeah. Like, so, that was cool. So that's my like quick kind of spiel on, meeting people. Taylor,
thoughts?
Nothing too different. I've definitely met people in person after you hang out with them online, and it goes a lot worse. So it was pretty great. I feel like we all hung out.
Tinder? Is there a Tinder story in there?
No,
Taylor's
not
had
for
some strange
stream,
on Hinge.
We're not going to get into that. But
man.
no, it was great. It was great meeting everyone. The four of us, I feel like doing streams together, we got to know each other a lot more than just like talking on Twitter or Discord or something like that. So kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into. But yeah, it was super fun. Fun meeting everyone else. My only like my tip for next year is that people don't assume that everyone knows your like Twitter, Discord nickname. Like there's so many people I met where they're like, oh, what's up? I'm Justin. And I'm like, pause for a second. They're like, oh, XYZ. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Like, I feel like I should, but these like Discord acronyms, I'm like, oh, for sure. Nice to meet
cool.
you. And I'm like, later, I'm like, who the hell was that? Like, I have no idea. That was the hardest part for me.
Yeah, I can sympathize there too. I think we have a little bit of a leg up. People see our faces all the time, right? Like, or at least once a week if they're, you know, familiar with our stream and whatnot, because we're not anon and we like do content that puts our face out there. So it was a lot easier seeing people. You're like, you know, you're at a party and like everybody you can see, like they gravitate towards the people that are visible. Which like was a good thing for us, I think, in many cases, because, you know, things came to us. But it was funny though, walking through the streets, there was one, it was outside of, was it Knights of Degen party that we saw the the guy behind the LaMelo project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember that. That's so random.
So like we're sitting out there and we're
Like,
about to go
totally
to the
unexpected.
we're about to go to the proof of party at the VR World, and where Aoki was. And we're sitting there like waiting for an Uber or something. And I see this guy roll up, and I had seen him. We had done like some video chats, but I don't think he's visible to anybody else. Like he's not like an outwardly facing thing. But in the context of doing that LaMelo NFT and like sort of talking to him about the space and everything when they were launching it, I was like, are you? He's like, yo,
That's crazy.
It was pretty funny to see some of those people. But yeah, that was a blondish better than Aoki. Yeah, that was a fun party for sure. That was a trip. That was a
You
trip.
got on Steve Aoki's Instagram story for a split second.
Yeah. Who's that guy in the Notre Dame pullover? Oh, it's just Plunge hanging with right front row. Aoki. That was wild. Apparently there was like a bunch of random celebrities at that party that like I never saw. Like it was like one of the Paul guys was there, and like Joel Madden from Good Charlotte was there. Like just a bunch of random ass like famous people were just like happened to be around.
It was super bizarre. And because so that was a party, this was an interesting dynamic too. So none of us own apes, right? Anymore. I had a portion of one a while back, and I've told that story a million times. But the dynamic of NFT NYC for people that held apes was very different than the dynamic of those that did not, because the people that held apes stood in lines for a really fucking long time to go to big ass parties where they had the same 2,000 people there. And it sounded like they were awesome experiences, both on the boat and then on whatever that warehouse party that like
Beck had a killer lineup,
like
Lil Baby and
the
Strokes.
Like, it sounded awesome, which is great, and that's all well and good. But it seemed more like Ape Fest was its self-contained thing, and yeah, there was other people that were there and whatnot and doing other NFT stuff. But like, if you were there for ape stuff, you were there for ape stuff. So I didn't see a ton of people that were doing ape stuff because they were doing ape stuff and standing in line with other ape people. But it was we stood in line for what? I don't know, 30 minutes at Cool Cats.
And then we were like, fuck
and we were
this.
just like,
Let's
fuck
just
this.
find
We're
something else. So we missed Cool Cats, which unfortunately, like that was like probably the one like kind of tier one party we would have, hoped to have gone to. But like the line was just,
but
we did end up at a fantastic shout out Sandbox. Shout out
Sandbox.
Shout out motherfucking Sandbox. Hell yeah.
Dr. Jeremy, if you're here, thank you for getting us on that list.
That was just a ridiculous party. I'm
just
pretty
teleported
sure,
to a John Wick movie.
So Beeple was there, right? Mike Nova, I'm almost positive Mike Novogratz, like billionaire hedge fund, like crypto dude, was there.
Yeah, he was there.
And like
Beeple was there.
And I felt like, there were John Wick villains everywhere. Like
it was crazy. No, it was like a burlesque show.
Burlesque,
it was totally a burlesque
show. It was wild.
And just free vodka Red Bulls flowing.
Yeah.
Just
Shugs is like, I don't know why I didn't get tired. I didn't go to bed till like 5. I'm like, I wonder why. Like,
yeah, I think I saw the
just
sunrise.
Like work too. We're like, should we like really get bagged up? And it's like,
yeah.
I think I'm working tomorrow. I think I'm gonna be meeting some people.
Yeah. We had a good time there though. That was insane. It was crazy. But we got there because we missed the Cool Cats thing. We got there early, and we were like really early, and we went upstairs and got like
made good with the doorman
over the top. Like it was worth shifting gears.
Shout out
Squiddy,
Top
you
Shot
do-
Fund also as well.
Oh, yeah.
Good hang with
Yeah,
us.
he was a good hang.
He was a
He
good
gave
hang.
us. I wonder, do I have my?
Little pins.
I put my pin on my kid's backpack and tweeted it out because my kid's backpack's actually like a space themed
saw that.
backpack, so it works like perfectly. It was cool.
So he was
You
handing
got
out
a
these
little
little
Ziploc too. There you
pins.
go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I ended up with 2 of these actually. I have 2.
They
of
were
them. I
not
don't know.
drugs. It was pins.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's like, here, I got a little CryptoPunk shaped
Like-
item.
Not-
You want
not
it?
that I do. Not that any of us do drugs, but don't do drugs. So anyway,
Cart Pig.
yeah,
Quick,
but this
quick
is such
side
a good
check.
idea.
Cart Pig, drinking a whiskey sour Buffalo Trace. That's like my go-to cocktail. Anyway, back
Yeah.
to you, Plunge.
And
Just
Squiddy, I know that
addressing a comment.
Squiddy's going to pop out, but we did not go to Terminal 5. So that was a tough call. It was a game time decision. We opted not to go to the Top Shot party because we were all sort of rolling in at weird times on Monday, and we had an obligation at the suite at the Knicks game. So we were meeting up with some friends and some people that had like extended us a very, very nice courtesy to allow us to go into the suite at MSG, and we wanted to get there early to sort of like interact with
people and
them
everything.
and meet the people in the suite and whatnot. So it was sort of like Terminal 5 sounded great. It looked cool, but it was sort of out of the way from
We had no time.
where, like with MSG,
Right.
with
We
like, very
posted
little
up at a
time to-
fantastic spot
Yeah.
too. Like whoever, I guess Plunge, hats off to you. Like it was literally like right next to the stadium,
Yeah.
where we could just hang and honestly and get to meet each other. Like it would have been weird to like the first time we're all meeting. There's like
Hey.
1,000 people. It's loud and crazy.
Like
and like,
Quavo.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
Quavo's trying to do his thing. Like I wanted to listen to Quavo, but I
Yeah,
can't
for sure.
listen to Quavo and try to like meet you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, plus I didn't really want to show my face at the Top Shot party, to be quite honest. If we're going to be honest about it,
No particular
But-
reason.
no particular reason, but
Supposedly
Well,
the
I don't
Nine
know.
Lives Lounge people had I
I probably wouldn't
VIP
have been allowed.
access. Apparently, did you know that?
We're probably not allowed, man.
Oh,
Well, we probably are. Well, maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh well.
probably. I think we'd probably be allowed. Yeah,
Nine
we-
Lives Lounge people had VIP access. That's all.
It would've been tricky.
Somebody said that, and I don't know if that was totally
Hey,
true.
what are the rules? Is it 9 Live Lounge plus or minus?
I don't
some-
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
curious
But
to
anyway,
see
we had a good time. We saw a bunch of people before the game and whatnot. But so the low key coolest part of the week. So Chugs went home on Wednesday. Greg went home on Wednesday, and I tweeted about this. But so Taylor was working, and I went out and did some things on my own on Wednesday and saw some people. Chugs and I went to the MoMA, and I got back to the room, and I was kind of chilling, waiting for Taylor to finish with work. And I like hopped in the shower, and because I was banged up from the night before, so I didn't shower in the morning. And anyway, long story short, Taylor's like, he sends me a picture, just a straight picture of StubHub,
Screenshot.
2 seats, like 2 rows behind the scorer's table at Barclays, and they were like $400 a pop plus fees. And he's like, I'm like 90% joking, but like, and this was an hour before.
But
the game
seriously,
started.
let's do
Like
this.
an hour before tip off, we were texting.
An hour before tip off, and we're in Midtown. So it was like, so I just texted him back, and I was like, let's do it, let's fucking go. And so I went down to his room quick. We like snagged the tickets, and within like 15 minutes of the text, we were on the train to Barclays, and it was like,
It's perfect.
it was an egregious expense, like $500 to go see a basketball game. Like that's a lot of money in the grand scheme of things.
You're on
But
vacation, man.
like
It's only
it was-
point whatever
it's only what
Eats-
0.1 at this point.
eats mooning,
Jesus
so
Christ.
why not?
But I had such a good, like, that was probably the most, I know I went for like 7 minutes in the second quarter to find food, but like that was probably the
Yeah.
most actual basketball at a basketball game I've watched ever.
When you're that close, like it's you
Yeah.
tend
I feel
to
like,
watch
we
the game.
were chatting the whole way over, chatting pregame, watching shoot around, talking through the first quarter. And then I don't know if it was the fatigue started setting in, but Plunge just started zoning in on the game. And he was just tunnel vision, just into the game. Like I was getting vibes like felt like you were sitting on center court watching the game.
I was.
Because we were so close, and you were just like, I'm gonna soak this in to like the tens.
It was good. And
it was cool.
So the Hawks are good. And they're 4-8, but they're good. Like they're not good. They were 3-1, and now they've like lost 7 of their last 8 or whatever. But their starting 5 is like super young, right? Like they're all really, really young. And DeAndre is nasty. That dude is nasty.
It's weird. We were talking about how like you watch the game on TV and you can see the plays developing from like a better angle, and everything just kind of looks obvious when you watch it from that like more 2/3 top down kind of view they have cameras at. But when you see it in person, you can see how fast the guys are and how good they are at reading plays like from court side essentially, where like there's traffic. You can't see plays developing because like there's just bodies in the way. It starts to, you can see pretty quick like who knows what the hell they're doing out there and who is completely lost. Like
who's completely lost, Taylor? Tell
Cam
me.
Reddish. Cam Reddish.
That's
oh my
right.
God.
Cam Reddish was lost.
Kevin
Herter looked pretty lost too.
Cam Reddish looked like me playing 2K, where I just had like my 3 moves I was going to hit no matter who's in front of me or what the defense is doing. It was rough. But DeAndre Hunter, I left that game being like, wow. I knew he was decent and had potential, but I left the game being like, this guy could be an all-star. Like, no joke, could be an all-star.
Well, if you saw him when Virginia won a title in college, like he had the tools in the body. Yeah. Like he looks the part. Like what is he, like 6'8"? Like can pretty much do everything.
He's like long arms, good defense.
Like he's definitely got. But the Hawks are kind of in that same boat with the Grizzlies though. Like they're good, but it's like you saw that cluster or whatever. It's like the defensive offensive efficiency or whatever. Like that on defense, which is typical of a young team and like a get up and down kind of team. And they could maybe like knock somebody out on any given day, but like, they still got work to do. But I bet they were a super fun watch. I mean, they had to be.
Yeah.
It was cool to watch Trey in person.
Yeah. It was funny though, because that was, so I would say because it was so early in the season, relatively speaking, like they're only 6 or 7 games in at that point. Like they still hadn't figured out the hard foul stuff. Like that they just weren't going to call some of these things that, so Trey's looking around. There's a lot of like, yo ref, like, why aren't you calling this from Harden and Trey, right? Like those are the two guys that are the two most biggest, by the rules. Yeah. So it was really interesting to see it play out. And there was one play where he like jumped backwards into Bruce Brown and got a foul. And Bruce Brown like went ballistic and was like, this wasn't a fucking foul. And KD came up to Trey and he was like, let me explain, like literally like just calm demeanor. He was just like, and we could hear him. He's just like, yeah, that wasn't a foul. He's like, that's an offensive foul. Here's why it's an offensive foul. And Trey's like, blah, blah, blah. And Kevin's like, no, that's an offensive foul. Yeah. Like, he was just like,
he's like, let me just play basketball. Just play basketball, man. Just like, they're going back to the huddle.
Yeah. And then at what was it? It was the end of the third quarter that he hit that like dagger buzzer beater, like really nice inbound play. And that was the second time that I've seen Kevin Durant in person this season. Because I went to the Bucks home opener, but seeing him at court level is very different than seeing him higher up.
He's like, so tall.
He's so tall.
He's just like
so tall,
and he is so good.
Draw a basketball player.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible. So anyway, highly recommend it if you ever get an opportunity to do those things. Seize the day. Money's just money. Like I know that's an easy thing to say when you're on vacation and you got a little bit of liquid stuff from your investments and whatnot, but like
you got to do it. I'd rather like
basketball.
I'd rather pull the trigger, sit second row once, than sit like decent lower bowl seats like 4 times.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would agree. 100%.
I'd totally do it that way.
Well, and with basketball too, you can get so much closer than. I mean, like boxing, you can be like right there, but like basketball is one where you can be right there, and it's the sport where the athletes are like physically more striking than you could ever possibly imagine when you're that close. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like the largest person I ever saw, like basically like struck me as like, holy shit, that dude's huge. It was actually Lamarcus Aldridge back when he was on the Spurs. And I guess he's on the Nets, right?
Yeah, so he's big. He hit like 4 threes in a row.
He's probably the one. And I've sat close enough to see like Jonas Valanciunas and other like big dude and like Jaren Jackson. He's huge. But like Lamarcus Aldridge, is like the biggest human. And just like
He's a
you look
monster.
and you're just like, whoa, that dude's fucking big.
And then
But,
and then you realize that like Shaq is wildly
Towering
bigger
over
than
him.
him.
Right, like 2 inches taller and like 40 pounds heavier.
Yeah,
At least, yeah.
yeah. Harrison Barnes bigger than on TV. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole Nets roster is just like old guys. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Bunch of thick boys. But yeah, anyway, NFT NYC was cool. We paid for it with the Plungeon NFT, which was awesome. Like we just settled up all the expenses the other day, and like it covered all of the stuff that we hoped it would. So for everybody that supported us with that, awesome. It's gonna be worth more than that. Like we're gonna figure stuff out to do with it, but we should probably fucking give some of them away. What do you think?
Some Plungeon tokens?
Let's do
Why
it.
not?
Or
Let's
Plungeon
fucking do it.
NFTs? I guess tokens, NFTs, whatever you want to call
Let's do it.
them.
I'm down with it. So we'll do a couple now, and we'll do a couple later on. So we'll do 2 now. So you got to be active in the chat. Obviously, subs get some extra juice. And for anybody that may not know, this token, this NFT, you can go to OpenSea.com/theplungeon. I think they're still on sale for like, I think there's a couple of people that tried to undercut.
0.033.
Yeah, but there's like a couple of cheaper ones.
Yeah, I could check to see if we've got a 0.02 or something.
There's a
randomly out
0.024, I
there.
think, but the gas is just stupid. So it's like, it's fucking dumb to buy it. So like, not that I would fund my own project or our own project, but like, don't spend a bunch of money on gas on this shit. Like, just be chill. But anyway, we're gonna get a couple.
And for anybody who isn't aware, the utility with this, like the explicit utility with this, is access to the Plungeon Discord, which is at this point a relatively contained group. We're not trying to like
80.
Yeah, it's not huge, but it's like good discourse, good conversation. I don't want to say
constant, which I like. It's
I don't want to say it's like
every
some
other
alpha group. Nobody's spamming like this project or that project. Like, hey, this is what I'm minting. It's just kind of good, like free flowing conversation.
Bagra,
You're part of that if you
question.
hold the NFT
Because we're dumb.
Yeah, there is a 0.024 out there. There's a 0.024 and a 0.025, and then everything else is 0.033, which was our initial launch price. So there's 2 tokens or 2.
I was gonna buy them, but the gas is like prohibitive, and like I said, nobody should. Being here, we're gonna give a bunch of these, like probably 5 of them away every week until we're out of the ones that we can give away. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And if anybody has one and they win, you don't get like, I'm not gonna give you 0.033 or something like that. You get to choose who it goes to. So Warren Fang, I think, has won a couple of them, but like you get to nominate someone else to come in. So we're gonna type in Plungeon in the Discord. Or excuse me, in the chat, Plungeon in the chat, and then we'll hit them with the giveaway song.
Subscribe and that bullshit. You might win some free shit. Give, gon' give away. We're gonna give away some. Give, we're gonna give away. Gonna give away some. It could be you. It could be you, babe. It's probably not. It's probably not. And if it is, oh, that would be so crazy. I smell a bot. I smell a bot.
Rigged. This shit is rigged. Rig job selling. Come on. All right, let's roll it twice. First up, 3D Hen. 3D Hen. What I need you to do, 3D Hen, whisper me from 3D Hen, whisper me your ETH address to Plunge Father.
Is that a claw there?
Yo, yeah, it's a claw.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're clawing.
Ooh, watermelon.
Little watermelon
Lovely.
claw. Just dug it out the fridge.
I'm drinking a Over the Ledge hazy IPA with Mosaic and Simcoe hops. It's kind of nice. It looks like a little
some elderberry cough drops because dying.
Still sick.
You don't sound nearly as bad as you let on, by the way.
3D Hen.
You're hanging in there, or your mic is just really making you sound great.
Yeah.
Feels substantially better today.
And let's just roll it again. We'll just roll it one more time. Edrin Flames, who's already in there. I'm pretty sure. No, are you in there, Edrin? I feel like you already are in there.
Edrin
I am.
Flames.
All right,
He
so
is.
you get to pick somebody. Find a friend.
Anybody you
Find
want.
someone that doesn't have one. Maybe someone from
You
Squanch.
get a plus
and
one
then just
pass.
find an ETH address and send it to me. And whether it's on Twitter or Twitch or Discord, because I know your account. And then I'll transfer it over. Cool.
Special
Cool.
shout
All right.
out real quick. Real quick. When in Rome is in the chat. I think I guess he's new to the program, or maybe. He's in our Cool Cats Discord. He was actually spotted on TV by somebody in the Grizz Gang Discord at the FedEx Forum wearing a
Can you
Cool
show the
Cats
picture?
jersey. Yeah, I'll find it.
This is great. Yeah, can you display it? That's so awesome.
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
saw somebody like that.
Shit, it's in. Hold
I know
on.
it's
Let me pull it up. It's in the
Discord.
It's in the Discord, so I didn't tweet it. But somebody was like, "Hey, did anybody see this guy?" Let me see.
We'll
see if I can share.
Blown and Carpeg. We'll roll a couple more in a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll do 5 tonight. So we
see
got
if I
3
can
more
share this
opportunities to
Discord
hop in.
Yeah, look,
and while you're doing that, so
Here he is.
to Taylor's point about like not knowing who's who, like there was a embroidery like hat
There he
shop.
is. And
Look at that.
I
That's
found
awesome.
him in the Cool Cats Discord.
There you go. Hasn't been taken out of the.
When in Rome, freaking hell yeah, man. So glad.
Love that.
So anyway, yeah.
That first day we were like, we should get this logo embroidered on something so that we can identify. And the guy like turned it around in 24 hours.
I got my guy.
There you go. Love
So
it.
you got the off-white.
No, mine's white. Mine's white.
Yeah,
we got
mine's
white.
the
He got
The
the
plunge
khaki.
got the off. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I kind of was like on the fence. I almost was like, could we just get 2 snapbacks? Because I knew that like Taylor and I are like big snapback heads. But I like keeping it consistent.
I've got the embroidery file now, so we can put it on whatever the fuck we want. So
Yeah.
we'll probably
Could
do
we
that. We'll do some.
could you go to
we'll do some
Lids?
merch.
Get a little Q zips, maybe
Yeah,
some
you probably
full
could.
zips.
I bet if you went to Lids, you could probably like. I'll send you the SVG. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Found someone that like cared
I
about their job.
definitely know
Lids.
there's local people in Memphis that do
Dr.
that kind of
Olympia.
stuff.
I'll send you the embroidery file if you want to get embroidered on anything. We'll probably set up a storefront at some point. But if you haven't noticed over the last 8 months that we've done this, like kind of lazy. Production quality is relatively low.
We just
just
operate
don't
at our own
fucking
speed. Yeah.
I don't get paid.
If you want to
for
make
Look,
it yourself, go for it.
IDC.
Yeah.
IDC.
Like, I'll just like post the SVG file somewhere in a shared Google Drive if anybody wants
Put
to
it in the
get their own
Discord.
shit.
There you go.
There we go. That's you can get access.
That's
to
the main
Discord.
perk of the NFTs. You get
Yeah.
access to the
Fun fact: did you know
SVG
that
file.
rendering these SVG files is actually like relatively expensive? It's like $20 to get one.
Really?
Yeah, like if
To
you
like
went
make
online
an
and-
SVG?
No, so like if you went online and said, "Hey, I want to take this PNG and make it an SVG,"
Yeah.
like there actually is like a not insignificant cost associated with it. That's why a lot of the first time setup fees, like for branded stuff, cost money with embroidery, is because the transference isn't just like, oh, hey, they have to figure out like how the threading is
It
actually.
needs to be a vector
working.
file that can be sized any which way
So
or whatever.
you can probably get someone to do it on Fiverr for like $5, but they turn out like shit. But anyway, they're not inexpensive. So yes, Dr. Olympia, you're gonna make an NFT quote with all your member cards. I love that. That's how much was gas on what? I don't know. Lies. There's a Plungeon sweatshop just out of you. The place that we got it, like
pretty sweatshoppy.
it's pretty sweatshoppy.
Pretty
for
sweatshoppy
sure.
Across the street from the hotel in Midtown Manhattan.
Yeah.
Pretty sweatshoppy.
So on that note, we are ostensibly a Top Shot focused podcast, general or Twitch stream in general. Top Shot is a thing.
Who's getting packs tomorrow? Woo woo.
I am. Fuck yeah, I'm getting.
Yeah, I
packs.
am too.
Hell yeah, dude.
I will.
Anybody that doesn't get packs, like, just I get it. Like, I understand. If you don't want to sit in line, cool. If you don't want to sit in line for $9 worth of shit in a $9 pack, like, I get it. Like, that's fine. But it is by far, and Taylor, this is your point, and I'll let you expand on it. It is by far the most efficient way to get trade tickets. Like,
I tweeted that out too.
go ahead.
Definitely.
It's all of
Have
our
at it.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah. People that are like, oh, it's unless you have no interest in doing the whole Series 1 pack lotto deal and you don't care about trade tickets, then maybe I get it. But like, if you care at all about that, how long would it take you to buy, say you get 10 packs like last drop, you get 30 trade tickets. It would take you forever going through the marketplace and finding 30 of like the cheapest moments that you don't care about. Probably half of them are going to get like failed because you're trying to go for like a $2 moment instead of a $3 moment? Like, what is the floor right now? Is what is it steadily at 3 and 2 keeps getting snatched up? Pretty
Yep.
much.
Yeah, I got numbers on that. That John Boy, shout out John Boy Beats. He put out
I
something.
DM'd him earlier today, and I was
Yeah,
like, man.
he put
Do you
out.
wanna
So
do-
he
And then
he put-
he and I asked Bonfire for the file, and he gave it to
There
us.
you go.
So shout out Live Token for getting it to us. But
yeah. This is via Live Token. So John put out like how many Series 3 sales at $1, $2, and $3. And basically at $1, it's 78 sales. Like that's
do you
totally
want to show
irrelevant.
it?
Yeah, sure. I can share. It's on. Let me stop the Discord screen and then share Twitter. Hold on.
Yeah, Pack Lottery is still in play. They're still fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best part of Top Shot is you can still
Okay.
do that too. 10
So it
times.
should be up. Okay. So right here, the dollar sales, there's 78 of them, 56 unique buyers. Might as well be like, that's totally irrelevant.
Yeah. it doesn't
20,000,
matter.
even 20, almost 21,000 sales at $2 with 3,000 unique buyers is virtually irrelevant in terms of like the big picture. That's roughly seven $2 sales per unique user. So that means a unique user on average got 7 moments for $14 versus just buying a pack where you could get what's the math? Where you could spend $18 for 6 moments, or you could spend $27 for 9 moments. So yeah, you're saving a little money, but like that's a whole lot of work to save like $8.
And you're not going to win.
And you're not
anything.
going to replicate it over and over. Like that's like there's not enough out there in order to like snipe like that to get to the 300 or whatever. It's like somebody actually, so like I had quote tweeted that and I said this: singles buys are negligible, $2 buys, 7 moments per buyer. Somebody commented and they were like, yeah, but if you can snag singles for $1, you'll save all this money. I was like, call me when you snag 300 to 500 moments for $1. Like,
Yeah.
call me when you get when you get 300 to, when you execute that 300 to 500 times, call me.
I
I wasn't
it's
trying to be
bot-
dick about it. It's just, that's like where we're at.
Yeah. It's
you know?
yeah, whether or not it's bots or it's like a bot assisted. So like whether it's Live Tokens flame feed or whatever, like there are mechanisms by which people get alerted to things, even if they're transacting on their own. Like, you know, there's long story short, there are people that are faster than you. And there
Typically, yeah.
are, like, even if like this is it's going to be very difficult, very, very difficult, even with 350,000 packs dropped on a single day, like for the moment threshold to shift and floor to shift to $2. We actually talk about this a lot in the Plungeon Discord. Like there's arguments and there's people that firmly believe that like we're on the path to $1 quicker, $1 floor quicker or sooner rather than later. I am not of that opinion. I think it is going to happen very slowly. And the reason is because these S1 reserve packs are like fucking fire. Like the chance like you have a 13% chance if you get one of these packs to get a LeBron S1 out of 1,000. 13% chance. That's like a really pretty good
just
chance.
several $1,000s minimum.
Yeah, I mean the cheapest
minimum.
one's like 6,500, and then the other like there's 563 of the Kobe tributes that are out there. Like
so the EV of that pack just from the LeBron contribution alone is like $700.
Yeah,
if it's 7K and you have a 10% chance,
Yeah.
just from that one moment alone, not the other.
You do have a high.
100 moments
Yeah, it's very skewed. It's or not very. It's sort of skewed outwards. So like let's just assume that the average cost of your of 300 trade tickets is going to be $3, right? Because you might snag a handful of them at $2, and like maybe there's a glut of them that come in and you're able to do more and more and more. But like let's just categorically, or let's split the difference. Let's say it's 750, right? In between 600 and 900. So you're able to snag half of your trade tickets at $2. The other half have to come at $3. Okay. So you've got $750 in trade tickets. And you buy this pack, right? The cheapest S1 out of 1,000 that's out there is like $150 or something like that. But then you also get 2 other S1s out of whatever, out of like 3,500 or whatever, which are also like in the hundreds of dollars. So there is like, if you get Booty Cheeks packs, there are going to be packs that are going to be below $750. There's going to be I don't know exactly what the number is, but it's like a third of them.
Well, that's
or
why it's
maybe
called an expected value,
right.
right?
It's like an EV of, well, technically the EV of the pack's going to be like $2,000, but it's super skewed towards the the 700 of them that are whatever. And yes, the floor ask, low ask is going to dip on some of these things. The point being is that this is on a grander scale is the same lottery that you're playing with these fucking trade ticket packs.
Right.
That's what they are. You're hoping that you hit the Scotty Barnes and you can 20x it or whatever the number is. But in reality, the vast majority and maybe most of the packs are either going to be pretty close to where it is. You might take a loss on a handful of them. And in many cases in this situation, it's actually worth the risk because the EV is twice as much as what you're probably going to put into it, or even 3 times as much as the case may be.
Yep.
So you have more than 30%. Well, I don't agree with that though. And you have more than 30% chance to be down $600. I think it's 300. So it would be 450, right? But you have 12 or 13% chance of hitting a LeBron S1 that you would have to pay $4,000 for, right? That's the alternative. So is the risk worth it for you? And there's a handful of other ones in there, the Ja, the Curry, there's 6 of them, I think, that are primo, right? Of the list that's out there. So from if you think about it from an EV perspective, EV is way more than $750, but there is a high likelihood that you strike out, or not strike out, but you have a lower value than all this. It does behoove you to try and get as many cheap trade tickets as you can. It also behooves Top Shot to try and create as many cheap trade tickets as you can. Hence, 60,000 is going to expand. That's not enough. It's going to be more, and it should be more, and you shouldn't care about it, right? You shouldn't worry that this is going to turn into 120,000. All of these are going to be trade ticket fodder. And we were listening to the First Mint before this. John Boy Beats was on. Top Shot is trying to improve upon the physical collectibles cardboard market, but they can't ignore, and we should not ignore, that there are similar dynamics that can and will play out. And the similar dynamics are that the filler stuff shouldn't be worth anything, relatively speaking, but Top Shot can make it worth something. And they do with this case. And right now we're looking at it from, there are these S1 reserve packs. There are, if I remember my math, there are 85. Oh no, there's 9,701. I think I got that right. 9,701 S1 out of 1,000 moments out there, which means there's only going to be, or only could be, 9,701 packs. If they do the same thing they do with every other pack release, they'll reserve 10% of those to pull back and use for promotional shit out in the future. So there's going to be roughly 8,750, let's say, or 9,000 if you want to split the difference. 9,000 packs. If they split them up 10 different queues over 10 different periods through 2023, you're looking at 900 packs per. There are going to be more uses for these things, right? Only 900 people can hit, which means that for these packs, 900 times 300, or let's just, say, so there's only going to be 27,000 trade tickets that are going to be turned in for these packs. What are they going to do with the rest of the trade tickets? That people have? Because you have them, you don't burn them to get into the queue. You have them to get into the queue, and then you pay with them. There has to be other uses for these trade tickets, and you have to keep that in mind, that you're accruing things that are right now solely focused on those S1 reserve packs, but they are absolutely going to have different places that currency, for lack of a better term, that token, that ticket, that whatever, it's going to be able to be deployed somewhere else. There's just no feasible, they're not just going to sit and rot in people's wallets.
Like locker packs.
Right.
No,
I mean, that's one way to do it, but
I'm kidding.
yes, yes. And I think this is the point, probably way more concise than my 10-minute diatribe there. As long as there are a steady flow of opportunities to use trade tickets, it doesn't matter. You should accrue them as cheaply as you can. Mm-hmm. Try and get into these things because, at least in my opinion, it is worth the risk. Because of the super high upside on this, in the same way that getting one of these packs has you're probably going to make $9 worth of shit, but you could hit a really nice rookie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And on the ticket thing, again, I'm not saying that, buying something for $3 cost is better than $2. Obviously, if you can snag shit lower, then go for it. But the most sustainable kind of like path of least resistance is by far, and the optionality of it, like the upside of you actually pulling something that is worth like more than just $3 or garbage or whatever. Packs are by far, especially the fact that now you can bulk buy, is by far the path of least resistance there. So that's sort of the main point about all this.
So just for reference point here, so I love this point. We can use that utility. If they do allow for us to ever trade cherry tickets, I will absolutely allow for one trade ticket to be 5 seconds of airtime on the Plungeon. I'm not sure if it was you, Dr. Olympia, that said this on the first mint stream, but I'm pretty sure that the exchange rate that we were going for there was like 30 seconds on the first mint stream, which means that this is 6 times more valuable than the first mint stream, which I totally agree with.
Spot on.
I got one.
So, talk to me.
I got one Top Shot question for you.
Let's do it.
Both of you guys. So we're all in agreement that 60K is definitely too low, right?
Too low. And there are so many people that are like, oh my God, they're flooding the market.
Yeah.
Taking
no,
Top
it's
Shot.
too low.
No, it's too low.
Now, so they've currently, as it stands right now, we have 48 moments, new moments. And we have another, was it like 36 coming or something like that?
Yeah, there'll be like 84 total, I think.
Yeah. So 84, that's 16% of the expected base moment count. Because they said it was going to be 519 in base. Did? Yeah. It's in the roadmap. That there's going to be.
I didn't know that they said 519.
Base set will see no more than 519 moments. Okay. This is strictly base. So like hustle and
I'm really
show,
glad that they got
else.
into that fine level of detail in the roadmap.
So
pendulum. Let's swing as far in the other direction as fucking possible.
So no more than 519. 16% are out now. There's an argument to be made, and I'd like to see what you guys think. That you got 16% essentially coming out, and it's covering the first of the season. I think that covers all the rookies. I don't know if it covers every debut, but like it covers all the rookie debuts, the rookie triple badgers, I believe. Would you think it's more likely that these 60Ks from the first wave get expanded, or they just say clip them, keep going with a new wave of moments, like just new 60Ks or new 75Ks or new 80Ks or whatever? Because 16%, I mean, that's not a lot. And the season is long, but like, I can't remember. I know they have limits on like how many
limits on
per player, like maybe
player.
4. Is it 4 base total, or is it even less than that? I could probably keep reading their roadmap. I think they laid that out in the roadmap, honestly.
And we're what, an eighth of the way through
I
the
want
season
to
now?
say it was 2. You could only have 2 base set moments.
2 at a time, right? I think it was only 2 simultaneously.
Good question.
Right?
With open mint counts?
I knew this.
Oh, you can only have one. You can only have one with an open mint count.
One with an
open
open
mint count. I think it might be
be
you can have 2. Well, no, you can have more than 2 because like
2 base set max. Brandon, there you go.
Okay,
Brandon,
2 base set max.
Do you want to come on? I can send you the Streamlight.
Can
you come teach us?
We see these long articles and our eyes glaze over.
I just read the graphics. I just look at the pretty picture part where it says
one close, one up. So
4,000.
theoretically, like I don't know, pick some random one that's in there.
But that seems bunk. So here, this kind of dovetails into another topic that Taylor and I were kind of talking about that I think we agree on, but like Plunge, you were like, you guys, we should talk about this. The fact that if you're going only 2 base moments max per player, what is he trying to hear something?
No, I'll be right back.
I'm
hearing something.
If you're Taylor, we're on the same page with this, but like if you're only going 2 base moments max per player, you kind of leave it to where you're slow playing potentially a lot of really good content or really good players because you only have 2 and you don't want to like blow your wad on like Luka and Ja and like whoever in the first month of the year. But at the same time, like this is ultimately a consumer facing product. Like there's a reason like TNT is showing like Ja at the front and like the banners have Steph and all like, So I think there's kind of this weird, there's a weird problem there where it's like you are shoveling, you are like unloading all of this like not as desirable stuff. Like it's the rookies are desirable, I guess, because they're low mint count. but like I'm biased because I'm a Grizzly fan, but I think nationally everybody would pretty much agree. Ja Morant's fucking loaded up in terms of like the best plays of the year so far, and he's nowhere to be found. And Luka's got like game-winning threes. Nowhere, like that's not there. Like
I think the thing for me is like
there's something wrong with that. I don't know. It just bugs me.
Did they explain why there's like a 2 moment per player base moment limit? Is that just like they wanted? Because my guess is if they laid that out because they were concerned people would be like financially concerned of like, oh, I bought all these LeBrons and now there's 6 of them this season. I don't think that really holds up. Like, I don't think base moments are where you need to be like
it hurts the product.
Taking your investments. Like, it's no one's buying those 60,000 base moments and like, you know, putting their rent money in those base moments. You're going to invest in higher rarity stuff, I would argue. So I don't have any concerns about saying like, hey, if Ja makes 6 noteworthy plays that we want to make moments about, we're going to make them. And like, people are going to like the moments and the moment's going to speak for itself, not like just 2 of them per player. I think that's kind of silly. And like we were talking about, like perfect examples. Thanksgiving's coming up in a week and a half. If I don't know, does Steph have any moments yet, or are they doing the same thing for him? Like,
I'll look right now, and I don't know who else is new that's like big, like other than the rookies. But like I'm looking through what's currently out there right now. You got Anthony Davis is a name. You know, CJ McCollum's a name, Jalen Brown's a name, but these aren't like Chris Paul. You got Giannis. Of course, you have Giannis. Which to be fair, his play is dope. Like it should be something that you headline with. But like that's it. Like there's no Luka, there's no LeBron, not like LeBron is short of any moments, but like still these are like there's no Steph, there's no Luka. I don't see a Steph. So
that was gonna be my thing is like, you know, in a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Like you should be capitalizing on that, man. Like the hot start, man. You come out with the good material early, and it's not like there's gonna be plenty of basketball to play to find a hollow or an MGLE or whatever, right? Like again, go back to Ja. Dude has freaking 10 hollow moment plays, like hollow caliber plays already. And I'm sure Steph does as well. Like you've probably watched him as much as possible too. Like I don't understand that. And from a consumer standpoint and like getting people in and engaging them, like they want to be able to come in and be like, sweet, I could get a pack and like maybe pull like my favorite player. And it's a 60K, who cares? But like, it's still like a dope play. And like, I got like my best guy or whatever.
The shitty part is I don't want to be Thanksgiving telling my cousins about Top Shot. They're all Warriors fans. Be like, hey, there's this thing, and they're like, oh, so I can get like a Steph moment. I'm going to be like, well, there's this weird rule where they can only make 2 of them
last year,
and they don't want to use one up on him yet, so maybe later. Like that just doesn't fly. They'd be like, hey, I watched that game against the Hawks where he had 50. Is there anything from that game? And be like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just like, a shitty answer.
For Top Shot, if you're trying, and a big thing that Austin says whenever he's come on our show, and I like buy into it 100% when he says it, is that they want to try to, in a way, be like a scrapbook of the league, like a narrative of the league. I think that's a really good, really good like mission statement to like follow. And just like it's missing right now, like it just flat out, like it just the current like slate flies in the face of that because, you know, and again, it's like I'd said it, you know, you can make any analogy you want, but it's like holding back like the red and pink starbursts. And it's like, why are we doing that? Like, why? What are we waiting for? Like there's a whole season to go that's going to have good shit to like make hollows with or special.
Like let me collect Ja's best plays from this season, and all 10 when I play him at the end of the season are going to be like his 10 plays of the year.
Right. Like I don't want a hollow pack 3 months from now or 2 months from now that's from a play that was back in October. Like the play will be awesome, and I mean it's still Ja Morant and all, but like if you're trying to like do this like next level fandom, narrate the league, like be kind of the storybook of the league, like you should lean into that hard. I really think they should. But, you know, it doesn't seem like that's part of the plan right now.
Chug's confirmed big Starburst guy.
Yes, definitely like Starburst.
Then what's the fandom tiers for? Oh, my God. Don't get me started.
Boo.
I can't keep up.
But I mean, that's, you know, that's my only kind of gripe with like the early goings right now is like they're not it's not good content right now. Like flat out, like it's rookies, and then it's just a bunch of like anonymous content. Frankly, it's trade ticket fodder, like flat out, and that's not even count based. It's like the actual content itself is like
The
it's
plays
just not desirable.
the plays are good. Though.
Really,
I will say.
Well, I guess
I think so. I think generally speaking, like they've done a pretty good job. It's maybe not desirable like player names, but like the plays of the given players that are there are pretty good. Like at least in my opinion and estimation. So you know, it's an interesting dynamic with all of this stuff playing out because I sort of check myself and think like, yeah, we have all these ideas about how this might work, but like the logistics of pulling it off are wild, right? Like it's really hard, especially when you're not 100%. You've got 17 things that you've got to be focused on.
we're armchair quarterbacking ultimately.
Yeah.
Like I fully concede
there's
that.
There's
like,
so much going on there. And you know, like from a like we're going to get a rare pack soon. Like it's happening. You know, it's probably going to happen in the next couple weeks. We'll get something, whether it's MGLE1 or whatever, right? Like they have to sort of keep that lively. And, you know, there's what, 38 weeks in the season, something like that, like in between middle of October
till
and
April,
end of June.
Till April or something.
No,
the full season. You're talking
well, yeah, I guess all the way through. So that you've got like, let's call it 40 weeks of programming or like, I don't know, let's say let's call it 30 weeks of programming. Like you got a lot to do in 30 weeks.
Yeah.
And they couldn't really start on it until the second or third week of it. So like, you know, they laid it all out, and I'm happy that all the rarer stuff like mint count's going to stay the same ish. Like they're going to reduce the throwdowns one, I think, and they're going to make the All-Star game like essentially the same, but not do the Rising Stars, and the MGLEs are only going to go up a little bit, I think, roughly similar. Hollow icons are going to stay the same. Like, you know, there's some consolidation with or renaming of the conference finals and stuff, but like most of the rare stuff, the stuff that you would want to keep and you would expect to hold value longer term, other than like debuts and whatnot, like that's okay. Like that seems like it's, you know, relatively speaking, well received within the roadmap from my opinion and my view. But it's like all we're talking about right now is sort of like the crap and a handful of rookies that like we don't really know yet, you know, 12 games into the season or 15 games in the season. Like, yeah, Evan Mobley looks nasty and he's going to be like, he's the presumptive favorite for rookie of the year 12 games into the year, but like there's still more to come. Like you think about the narrative of last year and how
it was Anthony Edwards.
Yeah,
he was
that one
runaway favorite 10 games in.
Rookie of the year, yeah.
Well, yeah, and then LaMelo, and then he broke his wrist, and then Halliburton came on. Like, there's going to be some narrative stuff like that where, you know, you're looking at it and seeing things over and shipped out. But like, that's what the storyline of the base set is going to be. And then it's, you know, utility stuff here and there, but like that is the base set. And then it's the stuff that like all their programming, all their special stuff is going to come around rares and legendaries and whatnot. But they're going to, even if conceptually and philosophically they're right, they're making the right decisions. The problem with it, and they will always run into this, they can't make everyone happy because the stuff that's desirable is rare. And that means that there are not going to be enough people that get their hands on it for them to feel like they have benefited from the planning. And they will always be up against that process and problem where, and part, you know, we think about like, okay, the one pack that was trash and trashed relatively speaking last year. What was it? Throwdowns, right?
Yeah.
What did they do?
We have one to give away, by the way.
We do.
Stick around. We have one to give away. Yeah.
Maybe we'll after I give my little spiel here.
Say what you got to say.
We'll do that. Widely panned. Why did they do it? It was the first time that there was a rare pack, or other than the All-Star game one. It was the Rising Stars. Like they increased the mint count like pretty heavily relative to other rares that had been out there, because people wanted rares and people wanted to get their hands on them, and they wanted to have a 50 play set or a 45 play set with 2,000 of them in there so they could send 90,000 rare packs, because there were 90,000 people on the platform that wanted a fucking rare, like, didn't want to pay for it, you know, and they or on the marketplace. And I think that they're sort of ratcheting back from that, realizing like, it's okay. Like And there are going to be people that are angry because they don't hit in that queue. And there are going to be a handful of people that like miss on every single rare drop in this season. And there are going to be people that never get a legendary pack. And they're just going to have to deal with that. Like they cannot make it fair. I mean, even if they did, how many legendaries are there? So like, I don't know, 90 plus, you've got how many in the mint? It's like 90 times 90 or whatever, like however many, hollows, whatever. Like you can't make enough of them to satisfy everyone.
You need more
because
players
you
that
need
are
the
in the league.
scarcity. Like, so anyway, it's
Every starter should get a hollow.
Plunge, my one question while you had add more funds up. Has anyone started looking at like market cap comparisons for players across Series 2, Series 3? Because that's the one thing I'm always been curious about. We always talk about like, it's S1 and everything else.
It doesn't matter yet because it hasn't, there isn't anyone that matter. Like it's like literally, so the only 3 right now that are above, so all of the 60,000s are $3 or less. So like it's, everything is the same. It doesn't matter what the player is.
It's all trade ticket fodder.
They're all trade tickets,
clearly,
except for these ones. And I guess you could look at, hey, is Jalen Brown's, let's actually do that. So we'll see. We'll say Jalen Brown.
What's with these 10Ks, by the way? I'm totally out of the loop.
There's a handful that are 10K. Like just like there were a handful that were 7,500 in S2.
I don't quite understand it, but
it's not. There's nothing like particularly notable about it. There's some are
like with these mint counts, you almost get into the point where like rounding to full integers like $3 kind of messes up the market cap comparisons just because people don't want to make the leap to 2.
Difference. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're roughly the same. I mean, if you look at this, you've got, there's nothing like way out of whack. Yeah, that's low. 9. I mean, I guess in theory, if it was $10, it would be like right in line with all the other
huge flip stuff. For $1 change.
Yeah. I mean, like literally this one and then like CJ McCollum, I think, are the only meaningful comparisons. Because everything else is $3 or the rookies didn't have plays last year. But it actually is interesting to look. This is let's dig into this one and then we'll give away the throwdowns.
Rookies.
So look at the rookies.
I'm very I want you to talk about it because I'm interested as well. And go ahead.
I think so. Do they have the
I've got it in an Excel already pulled up, but you can go 3-star, pick 3-star or something like that, and it'll 3-star rookie. There's an actual like 3-star rookie.
4 and Series 2, right? Yeah, that's what we want. So when you start looking at where this crop of players fall, so there's only 6 of them, so it's not that many to compare against. So right now, is Evan Mobley better than Tyrese Halliburton?
I would venture by a country mile.
By a country fucking mile. Like it's not even close.
Not even just player, like from a top shot perspective.
Right.
By a country mile. Yes.
By a country mile.
Even with the supply not fully out.
Oh yeah.
Look at where LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards are versus Evan Mobley, who is the current like hot rookie right now. Anthony Edwards.
I'll share the link.
He's a big man that plays in Cleveland.
LaMelo Ball is a star, but Anthony Edwards, for all intents and purposes, is just a guy in the league now. Like that's his rookie card, but like he's just a guy. Like he's good.
Let's look at all the sales for Halliburton, right? Like
Halliburton 47 last night.
Market cap's over double what Evan Mobley is.
I fucking love looking at these charts, by the way. Just like it just reminds us how stupid we are.
Pandemonium.
We're so fucking dumb. So dumb.
All calling ourselves geniuses.
God, we're so dumb. We were so stupid.
Why didn't we just sell every?
We should have sold everything.
God,
everything. So dumb. But anyway, we get back to things.
We were believers, man.
Like generally speaking, across the board, like things rose when like sentiment turned, right? But he had, I think it was right in this March range. Like that's when LaMelo got
hurt,
right?
Yeah. The 23rd.
So it was March 23rd. So all of this stuff goes nuts. But all the rookies were sort of in this weird spot. And like LaMelo, the 4 badge went way up and then went way down. But then he and Edwards sort of pinged back and forth as they were like figuring out rookie of the year stuff, right? It was sort of like, who's going to be the rookie of the year? That's sort of the barometer by which we measure or like where they are relatively speaking against
Do
one another.
you think Tyrese also had a little bit of a like Top Shot halo effect because he was so actively
100%.
engaged? Okay, yeah,
I 100%
I-
agree.
I was kind of throwing that as a softball, like because I agree as well. There was, yeah, I definitely think that gave him a leg up.
So you guys are saying Mobley is like, from your point of view, Mobley's way better, way more desirable than Halliburton.
I think he's a
As a
superstar.
player.
both
I think
from
Mobley is a
collectibles
superstar.
perspective. Well, no, I think Mobley's a superstar. He's in his rookie year, right? We know a little bit more about Tyrese. He took a step back. Yes, he can be awesome. What surprises me about this is that Cole Anthony is $164 and Tyrese Halliburton is $269.
Cole
There's
Anthony's
no reason that
falling
Cole
out.
Anthony should be $100
Yeah.
cheaper than.
Or cheaper than Jordan Noir.
It's just the
Right.
thing. The difference.
Well, Jordan
is,
Noir is a
5 Badger.
bottleneck
yeah,
for the Bucks
Bucks.
set.
The other thing too, the important thing to note is with Mobley, if you're talking like volatility, like
I love Halliburton.
who's got the most ability, to move, right? Like really level up in terms of value. Mobley has, like honestly, really just first year rookies, but Mobley is the top of that heap. They have the most ability to really level up than these other guys because, as far as I know, other than LaMelo Ball, I mean, maybe Anthony Edwards, those are the only guys that like could make an All-Star team this year. Let's say, right? Who else is Halliburton? Is Halliburton playing well enough to like threaten for that? No, he's good, but like he's not. Cole Anthony is one that. He's definitely a splashy like personality where like that is like an intangible part that kind of plays into all this too. Like I'd love to see like a, Twitter followers by Top Shot price kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like just social presence and buzz and all that. Cause I definitely hear enough about Cole Anthony. He's definitely good. But yeah, in terms of like vol upside and all that, it's like not unlike cardboard, like the hot stuff. It's the superstars. It's people in New Jerseys that year. And it's rookies. Like those are the three things where if you're going to try to like make money, like those are the three that you're going to play with other than just like a random Top Shot, like does a challenge or something and it like lifts whatever's, attached to that.
Right.
I think my only counterpoint is I'm weary of bigs that aren't flashy. And I get it. Evan Mobley's great. But like when you look at LaMelo and Anthony Edwards, why do they pop so much? Like, yeah, they were the best rookies in their class. But they also had highlight reel plays every single night, like dunking on people or making crazy passes. And I'd be concerned that like because Mobley's the best, say he's the best rookie in the class, that he's going to reach that tier because I have doubts that like a big man is going to,
he plays on the perimeter more than you think or can. He's a capable perimeter guy more than you think. But to your point, he's not like a ball. He's not a ball handler. He's not a ball handler necessarily. But we'll see. It's just one of those things where it's weird because we're in this level where unlike cardboard, like you've got sort of this like established floor of these last year's rookies and it hasn't like reset to where the new rookies are kind of like the hot thing or like everybody's kind of pricing overpricing those like Mobley being, a quarter of LaMelo and half of Anthony Edwards and stuff. I don't want to say that's shocking, but like I can't help. I'll be honest. When I saw him and he was the first, it was like 240. When I saw him coming off of the first drop, I was like, that like I know that there's still more supply to come out, but like I'm not so sure that's not a bad buy right now. Like, and that was like one of the first times like in a while that I've kind of like just caught something and then like
I 100% agree with you.
Okay, I think I wasn't taking crazy
100% agree with you, and I think that there are, especially in Taylor, we talked about this before, but like one of the frustrating things about Top Shot is that, especially if you're a basketball fan, which I am a more like newfound basketball fan, right? I'm getting better at it. Like I pay a lot more attention now than I did because I'm interested more. But like, how do you like monetize or like how do you cash in on the fact that you're in the know, right? And you can do moment ranks play and all that stuff, but like this is right now, at least as far as I understand, and
close as you can get.
Is about as close as you can get. Is like you're making a prediction based on what you've seen on the court and what you know about basketball and how things shake out and whatever. Like, is this player going to be excellent and you recognize something sooner than other people or make a bigger play or a splashier play on it, that like you might be able to actually cash in on something like that. Besides like, oh, hey, I got lucky and I chose something that got chosen in a showcase challenge. Like
Right.
that's the other way that like, oh, hey, my intuition or like my strategic collecting led me to like a pop in some way. Like this is the stuff that's going to do that.
He's a 1 million market cap. If he wins Rookie of the Year, you could reasonably say he ought to be a 2 million market cap because Anthony Edwards is 2.27 right now, and LaMelo's 3.5.
I agree.
Now, one that could come out in terms of like the Anthony Edwards. I'll like kind of throw this out there. The Anthony Edwards of this year is probably Jalen Green. He's going to have a bunch of crazy athletic, amazing plays. They're not going to do shit on the Rockets. They're going to be terrible, but he's going to be freaking amazing to watch. And I bet his moments are going to be awesome. So like he's going to be like, if he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, like he'll be I'll say it. He'll be the Anthony Edwards of Series 3. That'll be,
I like the take. I love it.
So
this is what we're here. The take quake, maybe.
You gotta say what you're going to say.
While I was fudding Evan Mobley, I will say, comparing him to Wiseman, I think Mobley's already had more stellar plays this season than Wiseman had all of last year. Yeah. And the fact that he's only hurt. 55. He was hurt at the end, but like when he wasn't hurt, he looked rough. Like he looked atrocious out there. And the fact that
he looked like a baby giraffe. He's
a $50 discount to Mobley is kind of shocking.
Yeah, he's got potential, but yeah, I'm sitting on a Wiseman, and I'm not kidding. I've thought multiple times of I'm like at a loss with the Wiseman, and I'm like, cut those losses and just buy a Mobley instead. Like pay an extra $30, buy the Mobley, like roll into the new rookie, and like hopefully that one works. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, just roll and do it again.
No.
Just play the like Chugs GM. Like if you're Bob Myers of the Warriors, who would you rather have, James Wiseman or Evan Mobley? And just do that for your Top Shot moments.
Evan Mobley 100 million times over.
Sell your Wiseman and get your Mobley.
I agree. The big man in a
that's a really good take.
Sexy like team that makes sense, but it's
all right.
It's tough.
Taylor, you got to go, right?
Yeah, you got to run.
Yeah, I got to bounce.
You got things to do.
But we can give away. I'll hang out if we want to give away.
You want to hang out for the giveaway? Yeah. Okay. I'll share I'll share my screen so we can see the. I'll pull up the Chrome.
He will be back soon. Tyler Durden Heat selling Wiseman now is a terrible move. He will be back soon.
All right. I saw him in Memphis.
Good.
He looked awesome, but hopefully he can, play NBA basketball.
All right.
The elephant in the room is like, will he get minutes with the Dubs who have been rolling and don't really
like where does he fit? Like where does he fit there? I mean, he doesn't.
Gets traded for
not right
traded
now.
In a package with Andrew Wiggins for
and honestly, from a Top Shot investment standpoint, it's you hope he gets traded and it's in a situation where he can thrive a little better. But we got a Brandon Clark throwdown.
Nice
compliments of Skank Ditto, one of our NLL guys, Cool Cats guys. This is an unclaimed reward from like weeks and weeks and weeks ago. So he just gave it to me and was like, hey, let's just give it away on the stream. So again, shout out Skank.
Rockets may win the title.
I hate to say that. Shout out Skank. That sounds so terrible.
Shout out Skank.
Skank Ditto.
Tyler Durden. What are the odds on the Rockets winning the NBA championship this year?
I bet you it's plus like 500,000.
They won't even let you make that bet.
Yeah, they probably
go home. You're drunk.
On that.
Go to your room.
They'll just throw it in a fire pit for you. So anyway.
All right. So we're gonna roll it. So what are we gonna
do?
do?
Let's do the code. We'll keep it simple. We'll just do Grizz, GRIZZ.
Okay.
I mean, it's for a Grizzly player.
I didn't realize that for a minute.
Oh,
I was like, I thought you just like,
it's a Grizzly player.
Wow.
I could have done a Canadian. I could have done a Canadian one, but
the only thing that would have been more on brand for Chugs if it was like a barbecue name of a restaurant in Memphis. He's like, okay, we're gonna do like Joe's barbecue.
We're gonna do rendezvous.
Everyone put narrative
Hope
value.
You spell rendezvous correctly.
Narrative value matters.
Narrative value
it doesn't. All right, we'll give everybody a minute or two. Gross. But speaking of, you went to the game with your kiddos not too long ago, huh?
I went to Memphis Tiger game, and those dudes look friggin' tough. They've got
Imani
the
Bates.
the Imani Bates guy is smooth as shit with the ball in his hand. He looks like Baby Durant, like every bit as much Baby Durant. Like he's tall and lanky. They're letting him take the ball up the court, and he's just like pull up threes on people, like little crossover step backs and stuff. And he's like 18 years old. He's freaking awesome, and he's not draft eligible until 2023. So like Memphis will get him hopefully for another year, unless he like goes to the G League or something.
Why is that? Why does
I
he
don't
need
know.
one more
It's
year?
I guess it's an age thing because he reclassified and is like he shouldn't be in college yet. The other and another guy that they have is another guy they've got. Their other freshman is Jalen Duran, who's like top. I was looking at NBA DraftNet the other day. He's projected like a top 5 pick in the NBA draft this year. I mean, it's early, but he is like 6'10", 6'11", like 250. He does not look like how an 18-year-old should look. Yeah, I know, right? He's like, get me the fuck out of here.
Memphis has those swings. They either have guys or they don't. I feel like.
Yeah, this year they 100% have guys. Like they're 12 in the country. And with their conference being kind of down, like the American Athletic, it's usually decent for basketball, but they have a legit shot of being like a 30-win type team because they just don't. They play a couple of SEC teams this year, and I don't know if they have anything else.
Come March.
Like Lenardi, it's one game into the year, but like he's got him as a 3 seed, like bracketology or whatever. But I mean, they're going to be fun to watch because they're just going to like overpower like 90% of the teams they play because they're just bigger. They're just so big. Like they run out a lineup for college where like the shortest guy's like 6'5", like and they got like they got 2 dudes that are like 6'11". So anyway, who's winning this? Who's winning this thing?
Tell us.
Did we roll it? Plunge?
I will right now.
I love it. People commenting. Chuck starts Memphis. Plunge just tunes
Poker
out.
Pro Eric.
Video off.
Poker Pro Eric.
Poker Pro Eric. Let's go. What's your TS username? Is it Poker Pro Eric?
Hit me with the TS username in the chat, and
I'll send it to you.
Me.
I have waited.
Poker Pro
I have
Eric.
waited. I can gift it to you literally like right now.
You sure?
You sure about that?
I'm 1,000% sure. Nobody's getting in trouble on this.
You fucking.
Can you check when you got it on the site?
Yeah.
The site doesn't.
You want to like?
The site doesn't say anything about have I waited or anything. It just it's allowing me to do it. So
Poker Pro Eric, hit me with your top.
Yeah. Post it in the chat.
Or hit us with it.
Post it now.
Yeah.
So anyway, all's that to say, I'm still buying 5 packs tomorrow.
Oh hell yeah! Buying all the packs.
Because why not?
I had this moment today. I was like, oh man, I wish they had the Twitch streams during the pack drops. Cause like those were kind of fun. Like just listening in is just made it more worthwhile. I guess they stopped doing that because they didn't need to because they got the email thing going on. So again, if you're going to get into pack queue tomorrow, like set up the email alert, turn your notifications on your email, like just for that minute or whatever, that few hours, like don't spend all day just looking at it. Poker Pro Eric. What do you mean? There's poker multiple.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Might have to come
we're
out
doing
write an
a
article
live
now.
gift.
Hold
Is
on.
this it exactly? I want to make sure. It's Poker Pro Eric with a K. Not CK, not C, just a K.
T-Wolves on Ballers. I don't think any of us got Ballers, right? I was sort of out.
Greg
got
Ballers.
I intentionally did not, and I hope I don't regret it. If there's someone that's like around the floor, like I don't know what, like if they're even buy sell trading yet, or what the floor is and all that stuff. I would totally maybe get one that's
probably
cool looking. If they,
I think I sent it in the Discord. I was like, I'm gonna get in on this, and I just happened like I was in between weird things, and I couldn't sit there for the drop. So
what weird things could you be talking about? You mean flying to Texas for no reason?
Taylor, you gotta go, or do you?
I gotta go. I'll let you take that.
We'll talk.
Yeah, you can pass.
All right.
All right, see you guys.
See ya. All right. So can I tell the story?
Yeah, tell it. I mean, I think it's funny.
So I work for a healthcare IT company for another month. I put in for anybody that doesn't know, I put in my notice. So I'm actively looking for jobs in the NFT space. I have a handful of really good leads, and I have enough runway to sort of even if I don't find something right away, I'll be all right. I'm not so vain to think that I
Just
can
sell
just
some
day trade.
ENS tokens. You'll be fine.
Maybe
right?
we should give some ENS tokens away. I feel like
Whew.
I've got some.
I know
So-
you've got a lot more than I do.
I still have 130.
I have 42.
So I sold.
42.
Yeah, we'll tell that story later. Anyway, so like when I got back from NFT NYC on Friday, they asked me because I'd put my notice in before I left, and so transitioning my projects off and whatnot, and so I had some availability this week, and they were like, "Hey, can you go down to Dallas for us? We've got a customer going live. Someone like they have a family thing that they can't get out of. Can you like sub for them?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem. Absolutely can do that." So fly out Wednesday, fly back Friday because there's direct flights to and from Dallas and Madison. So I had like a 1 p.m. flight or something like that. And I get to the airport. I'm like watching Twitch streams. I'm like doing a little bit of work here and there. I get on the plane. I like boot up I tried to get on the Wi-Fi. It didn't work, like whatever. But I had downloaded Dune and I'd watched half of it at home. So I finished Dune.
Very quick review. What do you think?
So for anybody that
yet.
hasn't, so I haven't read the book. It makes me want to read the book.
I'm familiar.
I'm like, and I know that the books are always better than movies and whatnot, but like dystopian future stuff, I'm like into it. So
It's like more like Star Wars though than like Blade Runner, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's more like fantasy
Yes.
than like urban like cyberpunk
Right.
type stuff, right?
right. It's less like dystopian future realism stuff, like Ready Player One or whatever, and more
Yeah,
like alien
On
world
planets
stuff.
and doing intergalactic war and stuff.
But everything that I've heard from everybody else that's seen it is like their reaction was like, "You watched it on an iPad?" Like,
Yeah,
what's
it
wrong
is.
with you?
It's a visual marvel, I would imagine.
Yeah,
because it's
it's
Dennis
pretty-
Villeneuve, who's like,
Yeah.
I'll watch any of his shit.
Yeah.
He's so good.
So I liked it though. I mean, it was pretty impressive. It was basically like a big ass 2.5 hour score that just happened to have like visuals over it. Which I mean, Timothy
A lot of
Chalamet was
panning
good.
shots with like
Oh,
no
yeah.
dialogue, just like looking
And,
amazing.
I mean, it was cool. Like it's a good movie. Anyway,
Yeah.
long story short, I'm on the plane and I land and my phone just goes bzz, 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 bzz. And it's all the people on the project team, they're like, "Don't get on the plane." Like I'm reading through the text string, like, "Are you still at the airport? Don't get on the plane, blah, 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 blah." And voicemails like, "Please, like if you haven't gotten there already." So it turns out that the clinics that I was going to support, because I work in cardiology stuff, and that they like didn't have patients for Thursday and Friday. So they were going to like flex me somewhere else. And then they already had someone to do that. So they were hoping that I wouldn't get on the plane so that they didn't have to pay for the flights. So I could
Too
just stay
late.
home, so I landed in Dallas and like they had already rebooked me on, instead of Friday, like they had rebooked me on the 8:30 p.m. flight back home to Madison. So I put out that tweet on Twitter at like, "Hey,
Where do I go?
we're going to go. Like we're within an Uber ride of DFW. Would you go for dinner?" And I forget the name. The handles are a little wonky because Twitter is different than Twitch, but it's one of the guys that we met up with in Oklahoma City that like gave me the recommendation of this Mexican restaurant. And so I went there, had a couple margs, talked to the bartender. And in the course of that, so JVB and Schiller, like JVB DM'd me and he was trying to get Jeremy G.eth. If you're not familiar, he's involved with a handful of different projects, including name tags and a couple other things. He's like an incredible graphic designer and like just super producer. He's just like a jack of all trades. He's an awesome guy. We've interacted a handful of times for different things. And so he ended up like getting me connected to him, and he showed up like at this Mexican restaurant and we talked for like an hour and drank beers. And I finished with skirt steak fajitas and Negro Modelos and went back to the airport and like got on the plane and came home.
Rapper lifestyle, man.
Yeah, dude.
Wake up, go have lunch in a new city.
Yeah, so I had like a very long commute to dinner is basically like like that I got everything paid for, but like I show up at home at midnight and like my kids screaming and like I didn't get any sleep and I'm like rolling into work this morning and I'd already canceled all my Thursday meetings. I'm like, what am I gonna do today? So anyway, it was a very interesting, and that's the first time that's ever happened. I've been doing this job for 10 years. I've had some weird travel stories, but I've never had a situation where like I got on a plane and they like wanted me to turn around. So yeah, Pecan Lodge though, I know there were so many good recommendations and I looked everything up. I called people, I did all sorts of things. And this is like, you got to pick one. What I almost did though. So I'm from California. Every time I go home to California, I always, like the first thing that I do when I get off the plane is I go to In-N-Out Burger. And I haven't been to California in like 2 years. It's been a long time since pre-pandemic. And I, like when I was like looking at the thing, I was like, there's an In-N-Out here. There's an In-N-Out here.
In
like,
North Texas.
We should in Dallas. I was like,
that's Whataburger country though.
I would have gone it because I haven't had In-N-Out in like over 2 years. Yeah. So anyway.
I said Taco Cabana because I figured you were in a pinch. Yeah. I didn't know how much time you had. And that's like a fast casual kind of thing.
Oh yeah. So and I understand. And for anybody that's like, oh, Shake Shack's better, I don't give a shit. Like I fucking love In-N-Out Burger.
I like me some Shake Shack. The problem is Shake Shack's a lot more expensive than In-N-Out. In-N-Out, from what I remember, I had it in Phoenix, I think, is where I had it. And I remember it being like very, very cheap.
Yeah, it's like $3.50 or $4 for a double or something.
Right. Whereas Shake Shack, it's like $13 for like a burger.
Shake Shack is really good though.
Shake Shack's fucking great. And they also did, I don't know if they still kept it, but I remember for a time there, they had a chicken shack when like they, like everybody's got to have a chicken sandwich, It was pretty damn good though.
Yeah. They have like a little dill spread. It's like a dill mayo.
I mean,
it's very good.
Chick-fil-A is still kind of the OG of that. Popeyes came strong with one a couple of years back, but Shake Shack doesn't mess around with their chicken shack.
Yeah. So. Yeah, dude. So it was an interesting little ride, but yeah. So back in town now, and I'm here, so that's good. But yeah, like job hunting is interesting in the NFT space. It's so
I'm sure it's a lot of what you're already kind of doing, just like talking with people and just kind of, because everything seems so free flowing. Like I like, not to kind of digress too much, but like my father-in-law, he was like, so how was New York? Like, what was it like? All that. And I was like, well, like talking with people, like kind of connecting with people in person, like really matters. He's like, I mean, is there, anything like he's always kind of like, he's a small business owner. He's always kind of like, oh, any like prospects, like you gonna kind of like, change careers over this or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm just kind of, I'm not really at that point yet necessarily. And he's like, I have a feeling that it's the kind of space where like the opportunity isn't current, like the job you want or you would take, like it hasn't been created yet, but like it's only a matter of time that it will. And he's like, and I guess you'll kind of be on the ground floor for it when it comes. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. It's like you're hanging around and you're seeing, the buildings being put up, figuratively. And you're like, I'm going to get a job up in there eventually. Yeah. But I'll just wait till it gets built first, or whatever.
Yeah. But it's sort of interesting because like on the surface, so my sense with all of it is that there are companies there are big companies, right? And some of the ones that I'm like most interested in are not the companies that have 5 employees, right? Like, and I'm more interested in, let me take a step back. I don't think I would be the kind of person that could just like day trade and be cool. I'm also not the kind of person that could just. You
also have a family, dude.
Right.
Like
no, that's what I'm
it's a different circumstance.
I have a different risk tolerance and threshold for like stability. But the like the platforms and companies that I'm looking at are not project specific. They're like agnostic to that, because I think that's sort of where they need help, or like there are going to be people that need help with corporate skill set and like also community / like in the know market stuff. Right. So there's lots and lots and lots of people looking for community managers right now. Doesn't pay well, number one, as far as I can tell. And thankless job, number 2. Number 3, it's very project centric, right? So it's like you're the Top Shot fucking.
Well, yeah, like you're Jacob. You live, eat, breathe, Top Shot, and that's it.
Cool, great. Doesn't like, at least not on the surface, not that desirable to me. especially for individualized NFT projects. For larger platforms, they will need community leads or like people that interact with the community as well, support structure, stuff, blah, 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 learning, training, whatever, right? That's a little bit more
Just your
desirable,
skill
but
set.
right. I have no interest in being a content producer full time because guess what? It fucking blows. And think of it like we get canceled 3 weeks ago. Like, God damn it! Like my job, fuck. Like,
you mean you don't want to teach? You don't want to force me to be your
I don't have any
producer
interest in
and
doing
us
that.
just like ride off into the sunset.
I would love. I'm
doing
happy to
streaming
help with
shows.
it. I'm happy to like participate in it. I'm happy to like have that be a component of what I'm going to do moving forward. But like, I don't really want that to be my job. So anyway, I'm in Let's Talks. To your point though, like there are a lot, they don't know what they want yet and they don't know what they need. And for like
Right.
the salary level that I am looking for, which is not like an entry level position, that like you have to have significant funding and you have to have already corporate infrastructure built to some degree in order to support a salary like someone like me.
They need
so it's just a weird vibe.
You
but it's
need
cool.
like a real like VP, there maybe even SVP marketing type role to emerge. Like that's what you would need. Like somebody who's like, you're like, look, I'm seasoned in a lot of this kind of stuff. And I can hit the ground running in a lot of ways and blah, 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 blah. Like
it's less so on the marketing side of things. Like I
just say that as a generic, like kind of broad term.
I'm really drawn towards like the product management or like the brand / like creator management side of things. It's because like I'm a pretty like personable person generally, I would say.
You were pretty boring, honestly.
But like I have a lot of connections to different people and like I'm able to sort of leverage that and I take feedback really well and I can translate things that people need into like really digestible formats. And like, there's going to be a lot of, especially think about Coinbase, like they're going to have so many people coming to them and saying, hey, we want to do this thing, or, Ether cards or OpenSea or Nifty Gateway or, any of these platforms that are marketplaces or any of these companies that are like, like studios or whatever, right? Like they need people to play middleman between people that come to them and ask for services and for like the actual services that the company provides. And I feel like I'd be a good fit in something like that. And on top of that, I've got like a really deep and broad corporate skill set for all sorts of other stuff. Anyway, you guys don't want to hear my job search detail stuff. Yeah, basically consultant, but like I don't want to do project to project. Like, hey, I'm gonna,
like a contract worker.
I don't think I want to. At least that's not what I'm going for right now.
If it pays well enough, I bet you would.
It will.
I mean,
and if I wanted to, like right now, based on like my inbounds from DMs and whatnot, like I could just take, hey, insert name of random fucking NFT here, like get some percentage of sales, get some, get an ETH to do like a project review or whatever. Like I could probably make a pretty decent chunk just like advising to some degree. And there are a lot of people that do that. It's like not stable income. Number one. Number two, it's daunting. It may, and many people want like the exposure stuff. And I have no intention of like shilling projects. Like it's just not my vibe. Like it's not my brand. So I'm far more interested in sort of like established or like establishing companies. But anyway, speaking of OpenSea, so win OpenSea token. Because
I haven't been following the OpenSea token thing. I mean, like that, like kind of like social push or whatever. The ENS thing, obviously, came up, and I don't have a ton to say on it. I'll let you kind of like give your 2 cents on it. But the one thing I do think is kind of something to keep in mind, and I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but it was Andy had mentioned it on Club Top Shot the other day, where it was like, well, if you're just kind of off the top of your head, like comparing market caps, like if you're thinking market cap of ENS governance tokens versus like what GoDaddy's worth or what like domain centers are worth, like you can kind of use that to sort of like triangulate like what this thing ought to be. And like, if you do that, and again, I don't remember the exact numbers he was saying, but like long story short, like it could still be a big nut. I say that at the same time, like I got 142 tokens because I had chugsandbugs.eth. Like I bought that for 2-year lease or whatever. Didn't cost me much, because at the time it was before
cheap
gas
as
was
shit.
nothing. Yeah, it was like $15
$20
or something. So got the 142 tokens, managed to, I mean now, like obviously it's I believe it's way higher than I sold 100 of the 142. So like pocketed a decent amount of money off of it. Still have 42 basically like this sucker goes a friggin' 1,000. Well, I got 42 still there, or whatever. Like if it just continues to go parabolic, what is that? 60? So yeah, it had hit 80 something at one point.
I sold
right?
2/3 of mine at $32.
Yeah,
So-
and I had sold 100 at like $60 or like 50, like 58 or something like that. So it felt like pretty good little payday. But in terms of like, I think one of the best shit posts ever from Andy was like, I'd feel more empowered to govern these tokens or something if it were worth $1,000 each or something like that.
Yeah,
like
not wrong.
I'd feel much more inclined to like like actively like partake in like governing or whatever. And I don't know, it's funny because it's like, why would you want it to go up other than the intent to sell it? But it's like I'd rather govern it instead. So I don't know. It was a very
100%.
high quality shit post.
100%. And
But,
yes, Dr. Olympia, free money is free money though. Like, yeah, absolutely. That was the way I looked at it. And this, to be honest, like this one is probably
the freest of free money.
Well, it's the freest
maybe?
of free, but it's also like, for me, it's probably like, hey, it's the end of the year. I need to figure out all of my tax obligation situation for 2021. And
You need to get a ledger.
yeah,
That's
like,
what I need to do. Like yesterday.
Yeah, I have a handful of things down, but like I have not been tracking as diligently as I should be. And again, this is not financial advice, blah, 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 disclosure. But my non-financial advice to everybody
It would be wise
for
one
Chugs,
to
you
be
personally,
cognizant of this.
It would be wise for you to be cognizant that you will have a tax obligation if you've made sales. And for everybody that's planning on not doing that stuff, so the reason I am going to take it very seriously is that in 5 years from now, if I am looking to buy a business, buy something specific, do whatever, and there is an audit of my finances to figure out where all my stuff came from to buy said business or whatever, and they go back through, like, blockchain is immutable. Like it's there, even if you're not reporting it on your taxes, like it's there for anybody to find whenever they want. So, just be aware that if you have future machinations towards any like, big financial purchases that might rely on some deeper dive into your financial picture, it is not a bad idea to have good faith, like planning and tax preparation stuff. So don't obfuscate, obviously. Like this, again, not financial advice, but like the worst thing that you can do, as far as I'm concerned, is try and like actively avoid stuff, because then it's like intentional. Anyway, long story short, with the ENS thing, I'm sort of looking at it like, hey, this is a nut that, yes, it's income, and yes, it will be taxed, and yes, all that, but like I'm probably going to use a big portion of that to cover anything that I haven't held back for, any other big purchase or a sale that I made.
I'm kind of sitting in Ethereum, which obviously has its own path. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, so, Dr. Olympia, it says not hard to get a CSV of your transactions. It is
when gas and all gas is included as a part of tax.
It's not just
too,
OpenSea. Yes, but it's not just OpenSea, right? It's like things on Top Shot. It's things that projects gave me that I've given away, like that, like, and there's all sorts of like when it, like what was the value when it happened type of stuff that it's very, very complicated.
Well, also if you I mean, if you buy Ethereum, not to get too in the weeds, but it's like if you buy Ethereum, that's one thing, not a taxable event. But if you buy an NFT with Ethereum and the value of Ethereum has changed, which it almost always has, that's a taxable event. You sell the NFT, that's a taxable event, obviously.
It's still a taxable event.
And then if you convert the Ethereum back to US dollars, that's a taxable event. So there's
Flowscan, it's part. partially there. So, but there's all sorts of off marketplace stuff too. So, great example, ENS. My buddy Vinny, like he wanted to sell his tokens. He got fucked a couple times because he couldn't figure out how to do the Uniswap thing right, and like got burned on gas. And he sent me like, I was like, I'll buy 30 tokens from you. Here's ETH. I sent him ETH. He sent me 30 tokens of ENS, and then he also sent me $300 in Venmo. Like, how do I keep track of that? You know, like,
well, and it's like, is that, you know, what actually gets recorded there, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I've done that a ton of times. Like I've had friends that have like, or I've like sent them ETH and they've cashed me out in PayPal or whatever, like, because they, you know, I was trying to get them liquid and whatnot. There's just like a lot of complicated, like, transactions that have happened across many wallets and many services. That is like, oh man,
I'm very
I need
curious.
to do a better job.
I'm also very curious about like these big, like, you know, H&R Block, TurboTax and all that. If they actually like unveil like a crypto NFT type. Yeah. I don't think either, but like, this is definitely the year where it like exploded in a really meaningful way. So I'm curious to see like when, because like like it's not just like we are essentially retail people, but like institutional adoption of crypto has definitely occurred in 2021 more so than in any other year prior. And so I'm curious as to when like the resources for, you know, regular people like us really, you know, come into play to where it's literally like click a button and they're like, here's your, you know, you give your MetaMask wallet and you give like some other stuff and they just kind of like, you know, take care of it for you.
So with
holy hell, Miami. Sorry.
What's going on?
They just bald. I mean, it's a shit game, but Miami's up 15-10. Baltimore just scored. Baltimore had just scored, kicked it.
8.5.
So they had just scored. Well, here's the thing: they had just scored and kicked it away. And figure you force a 3 and out, you get the ball back. Lamar Jackson does his thing. Miami Tua just hit number 2 on Miami. I don't even know who the fuck that is. Just hit him on a wheel route for like 60 yards with like 3 minutes left. So like, but the thing is, they're only up by 5. So if Baltimore stones them here and they kick a field goal, it's an 8-point game with whatever time's left. And Lamar Jackson still can.
But they're not going to score 8.5.
They ain't covering. That's for damn sure. But
anyway, long story short, so we are going to get someone, you know, looking at the rest of the year, the calendar for the rest of the year, like next week we'll be on. We've got a couple. I've got
you want to tease
Noah
anything,
from
or?
I Got It.
Okay.
And they did the Detroit Pistons NFTs, like the championship ring ones.
Oh,
we
cool.
met at the Sandbox party. He was with Clay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so he's gonna come on.
that. Okay, yeah. I remember Noah.
So
they've
got like the
dude.
physical.
Yeah. Okay.
They've got like the physical digital stuff. They're doing something with the
nice.
Pro Football Hall.
Also,
of Fame,
shout out Clay.
Really cool.
Clay was
good really good.
That was another guy like wasn't necessarily expecting to meet or hang out with. And got to hang out with. Good.
I did make the comment. I did make the comment when we were at the OTM party. So like it was literally everyone that like
it was all
85% of the people that do Top Shot content.
Like content people. Yeah.
It was like OTM and it was the Club Top Shot guys and
LG.
Mike was there and LG was there and Top Shot Fund was there and there was like a handful of other people. And I was like, if Roham really wanted to like change the narrative here, all he had to do is just bomb this fucking bar and then they could just start from scratch. Like they just like murder everybody in this bar. And then they could just start
wipe it out.
Yeah, just wipe it out.
Beer.
Yeah. So which is interesting bar. But OCM guys are cool too. Everybody was cool. 95% of the people that I met, 98% of the people I met were cool. There was 2% of people that I did not care for. There were like 3 total people.
You mean the one who asked how many followers you have? or like to compare, like basically like immediate like dick measuring. Do you have a cool cat? I've got 7. It's like, come on, man. Like I didn't come here to pick boogers. I came here to like just hang out. Like, come on, dude.
Sniff your own farts much? Like,
seriously.
Anyway, so anyway, long story short, Noah's coming on next week, and then we've got oh gosh, I forget the guy's name. So Dr. Jeremy NFT is working with a group called Aspen.
Yeah.
And they're doing some super interesting stuff with like
Jeremy
titling.
was good people too.
Good
for
people.
Sure.
Dr.
Very
Jeremy
good
NFT
people.
is a good hang.
Yes.
great hang.
Very good people.
But it was the things that they are doing are very unique. So it's going to be an interesting diversion from some of the stuff that we've talked about. So they're going to come on next week. I think Backer's going to come on too. But anyway, we've got a pretty full show next week.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
next week after that is Thanksgiving. So we're going to be off. We're not going to stream on Thanksgiving. The week after that, December 2nd, I think it'd probably be ideal if we could get like someone like, I think there's, the Jacob NFT tax attorney or whatever. Like if we can get, or Daily Fantasy CPA
in December
or
sometime.
Yeah, if we can get someone like end of the year, hey, like there's a handful of things you should consider.
Although US, I mean, it doesn't really get to like February, but I'm with
in terms
of
filing, but like you're planning, there are things that people are going to have to and want to do at the end of the year to harvest loss or not realize a gain. Like there's all sorts of different stuff like that. And again, not financial advice, but like it'd probably be worthwhile to have someone like that on to hammer some of that stuff out and answer our questions as best we can. But anyway, so we've got 3 more Plungeon
tokens
to give away. So we're gonna do that. And we'll end there. We are gonna raid over No Hitters Live doing like card breaks, and he's gonna do a big basketball break. I told him, I was like, we'll raid over with a bunch of people.
Are you in? Are you getting in on it?
Yeah, dude, fuck yeah.
Okay.
There's like Optic, there's Prism,
hang for a minute.
Yeah, dude, it's cool. So I'm gonna try and time it so that he finishes this football break, and then we'll go over and we'll fill up the rest of this basketball one that he's got. Is probably pretty big, and then we'll go from there. Ooh, he just cracked a Kyle Pitts patch. Cool. All right, let's roll this thing. So what are we gonna do? So plunge. Yeah, just plunge in the chat. Plunge in the chat. Plungeon in the chat.
Route. +1 to anybody in the chat who knows what movie that is. Road.
I don't.
Route. You don't?
No.
Come on, Pete.
I don't know that one.
Dude. You're young. You're too young, man. Black Sheep.
I mean, I've seen the movie.
Well, that's what I was saying. You don't.
You're only like 3 years older than me, dude. Like,
yeah, but like it was Chris Farley.
I know.
In the 90s.
I'm aware.
It's not Tommy Boy. It's from Black Sheep, which is pretty much like Tommy Boy too.
All right.
Subscribe and that bullshit. You might win some free shit. Gonna give away. Gonna give away some. We're gonna give away. We're gonna give away some. Give away some. Give away some. Give away some. Give away some.
Condensed version. I like it.
Talk about a good hang.
Who?
I haven't.
Caruso? Oh, yeah.
The hug. Great hug.
I got a hug too, like right at the beginning. I got up out of my chair for sure. That was at Lucy's.
Scully 916. Hit us with your ETH address in whisper, please. Whisper it to me.
How about your plunge? How about your proper slice of pizza? What did you think? Was it good? Did it deliver the way you wanted?
What are you talking about?
In New York, dude. You got a proper slice.
Yeah. So the one like
was that the only time you got pizza, or did you get it other times?
I think I got multiple, or the Bellissima, whatever.
Taylor
and I, we had pizza that night after.
You went back
after Barclays. He was like, I'm really hungry, and like we walked around.
They were still open.
No, we walked around a bunch of like blocks trying to find somewhere, and then we ended up like there's a place called Joe's on 40th or something like that, right south of Times Square. So we ended up there. So I had 2 like back-to-back slices. It was great. Scully, nice. hit me in the my whispers with your ETH address. We're gonna roll it again.
Yep.
Politicos 123. Nice. Hit me again, whisper, and I think we're on Discord too, so feel free to do it in Discord either way. New York doesn't sleep. You'd be surprised though. So we were at 36th, and like there wasn't a ton of places around us that were like open at 11 o'clock at night. It's COVID's weird. There were things that were shut down.
Yeah.
Sabaro. No.
Sabaro. We did
Yeah.
not do that.
Yeah. Again. So hit me with the politicos. Hit me with the
The only
thing, and we're gonna do one more. I'm gonna roll it one more time. Here we go. Last one. Richmond stink. Richmond stink.
The only-
Again, hit me with your responsibility. Hit me with a whisper. I'll get them sent out after the stream. To your ETH addresses.
The only thing that we missed on that I wished we could have hit food wise, and considering we were literally like a block from Koreatown, or we were basically like in Koreatown, our area, was a Korean barbecue joint. Because typically, like pre-COVID, they have like 24-hour, like you're freaking cooking your food right in front of you, and it's amazing.
I love that shit.
It's not expensive, and it's like a little dive spot. Also fun. I'm getting a text from my buddy who we like talk football a lot, picks, betting and stuff. He texts me. Clearly we have action on the Ravens. He says, I hate the NFL. Nobody is good. It's the effing Dolphins. They rotated quarterbacks.
Yeah, they do.
I love it.
It's brutal.
This NFL season is ridiculous.
It's weird. Nobody's
like
good.
Everybody
Everybody's
sucks.
bad.
Like everybody beats everybody every week.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Anything else?
I don't think I'm gonna have to get a good. I'm gonna have to get a good Titans Saints bet.
Is there anything? What did we not
it.
hit tonight? I know that we it was relatively self-serving, but like,
yeah. What do you want?
What do you guys need?
Any last minute questions?
Concerns, comments,
or thinking out loud.
How's the audio tonight? I feel like it was crispy.
Observations.
Don't shit on my team, bro.
Wait, what's your team? The Dolphins? We got Hootie on the line right here.
I don't know.
Dolphins are putting in work tonight, though.
Audio was good. Awesome. Love to hear that.
Good.
Turn the gain up. I think that's what it's called. It says gain under the knob. I need one of those thingies, like one of those, like the arms.
Play to earn. I like that. Makes me think of your great Axie tweet the other day. Was that today or yesterday?
Oh man.
Spend 90 minutes with your Axie
Axie scholars. When's the last time anybody heard about Axie?
It was gonna change everything.
Change the world.
Dude, I remember getting DMs about like people wanting to be sponsored and stuff.
Right.
And I'm just like, man, I'm so out on this. Like no
thank you. A hard pass for me.
Maybe I'm missing out or something, but I guess that's okay. Snooze. He's commenting. We need to get a good bet going on Titans Saints this weekend. Your team versus my team. We'll get something. Right. We'll figure something.
So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna raid over to no hitter. Stick around. There's gonna be a big basketball break after whatever they're breaking now. I think it's got like Optic, Prism, and Recon in it. So I'm probably gonna get a couple of those spots. So if anybody likes cardboard, that's where I'll be. We're gonna raid over there. So I'm gonna start that, chat that. Let's see. Okay. So hop in that raid. Thanks for tuning in as always. We will see you next week.
Yeah.